Welcome back, everyone. We have been talking about the structures found in cells, and we have discussed a lot of the internal structures of cells, the nucleus, the Golgi apparatus, plastids, cytoskeleton. But there's also important things that are going on a cell outside of the plasma membrane. This could include the extracellular matrix of an animal, or the cell wall of a plant or a fungal cell. A lot of the cells are characterized by their extracellular structures. These give physical support to cells. You can often tell what kind of cell you're looking at by knowing what that cell wall is made of. For animal cells, these structures are called the extracellular matrix. Looks something like this, mainly collagen fibers and fibronectin. Pretty loose mesh here, right? You wouldn't think that this would give it big support against osmotic lysis or anything, but it does have an important function in support. And the extracellular matrix in different cell types can vary. So you can have different components when you're looking at different cell types. In plant cells and fungal cells, the extracellular structure is a cell wall. So you have a much more rigid structure here. In a plant cell, it's mainly going to be cellulose microfibrils within this matrix of polysaccharides and some proteins. In a fungal cell, it's mainly going to be chitin for the cell wall. These are both types of polysaccharides. In a plant cell wall, there's a few different layers here. There's the primary cell wall, which is laid down during cell division. It's mainly cellulose fibrils embedded with some other polysaccharides. The primary cell wall is pretty flexible and extensible. It's not rigid. Then the secondary wall forms when the plant cell gets to its full size. And that secondary cell wall forms by putting additional cellulose and lignin on the inner side of the primary cell wall. So here are two cells, and on the inner side is the primary cell wall, and on the outer side is the, on the inner side is the secondary cell wall, and on the outer side is the primary cell wall. This secondary cell wall, especially because of the incorporation of lignin, is going to be rigid and inextensible. So that provides a lot of osmotic support for that cell, that they're able to withstand absorbing water without bursting. Plant cells are connected to each other, to neighboring cells, by these little bridges between the cells. These little bridges here are called plasmodesmata, and this allows materials to pass from one cell to another through the cell wall. They're large enough that water can pass through, and small solutes, so small salts can pass through there. Smaller sugars can pass from cell to cell through these plasmodesmata. While we do have connections between cells of animals, plasmodesmata as a feature are plant cell specific. I'm sorry for the terrible captioning here. Plasmodesmata as a feature are plant cell specific. Bacteria have cell walls made of peptidic glycan. Peptidic glycan are long chains of these two sugars, and they're held together by peptide bonds. So you have these layers of sugars. That's what these kind of bluish yellow strands are. And these peptides, these more stringy things here. These are small amino acids. So these peptidic glycan forms a net-like structure. And then there can be other substances specific to the cell types, to the cell walls of different bacterial groups. So here you can see this is divided into gram-positive, which just have a thick layer of peptidic glycan, then gram-negative, which have a thin layer of peptidic glycan, and then another membrane, an outer membrane outside of that. Big important differences in how antibiotics can treat different types of cells. So like Penicillin would treat this bacteria. Penicillin would not treat this bacteria because of the differences in that cell wall. Plant cells are non-motile. That means that they are suited to having very rigid cell walls, that it's good for them. Animal cells are motile, therefore we wouldn't be able to move quite as well if we had that thick cell wall that a plant cell has. So instead we have that strong and elastic network of collagen fibers. So our extracellular matrix really is important for us and our ability to move instead of being a sessile grounded organism like a plant. Bacteria and archaea might be motile, they might not be. But their cell walls are really important to provide protection from their environment. If they're an environment that has a salt concentration that is different from the salt concentration within their cell, that cell wall helps prevent bursting as water may want to come into the cell. Okay, we have just one more quick little thing to talk about. Viruses next. So I'll see you later. Bye.